Warning, the following video contains me, Anime Freak, screaming at things loudly, or just going on general rants. So if you hate to listen to people rant on and on and on and on and on about how stupid things are and how I wish I could take most of humanity, or just really mostly the internet, and just put it all in one big blender and make a stupidity shake and shove it down the throats of the biggest idiots in the world, please enjoy. Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Anime Freak here, and welcome to another rant. Yes, it's another video of me talking about stuff by myself, in my head, in the Matrix. Okay, let's get straight into it. This video is going to be a bit different because it's a sensitive subject. It involves comic books too, but it's still a sensitive subject. There's no middle ground on this. You're either for this subject or against this subject. So why don't we get straight into it? Now, anyone who knows me knows that I am a huge comic book fan. Love them. I love superheroes in general. My favorite superhero being Superman, and the Superman family: Superboy, Supergirl, Power Girl, Lois Lane, all those characters, and some of my favorites. And Superman is my favorite be-all, end-all. Ultimate, there is nothing better than him type of character. Everyone has one of them. So I love DC Comics. I always have. And I've relatively, kind of stayed out of the realm of politics when it comes to comic books. I could care less. Just give me the comic book, give me the story, I want to read it. But more recently, there's been some controversy, especially DC Comics, with Batwoman. Now, Batwoman, not particularly a comic book series I read all that much. I do have a good couple of her comic books, but I've never gotten terribly into them, especially since she started fighting demigods. Yeah, that took a weird turn. It was like Batman, the Joker, Batwoman, the Joker again, or Batgirl, the Joker again, Nightwing, the Joker again. Every one of them fights the Joker, but then most of them are fighting human villains, and the Batwoman is just off in left field. Let's just put her against demigods. It's like, okay. So this version of Batwoman, or the new 52 version of Batwoman, or I guess Batwoman in general, because there's been, a couple. Batwoman, Katie Kane, let's just leave it at that, is a lesbian, which I have no issue with. I would like to state first my views on gay marriage and gay people in general is I don't care. If you're gay, straight, in the middle, all around, I don't care. Do what makes you happy. Unless, of course, what makes you happy is, prowling a elementary school, then no, just go away. Go jump off a bridge. All pedophiles should kill themselves. Another rant for another day. But in the comic book series, she's a lesbian, and she's got a girlfriend. Okay. There was this recent thing where she was supposed to get married to the girlfriend, but they foreboded that and just kind of moved that out of the way, and people went nuts, especially the internet. They said, oh, DC hates gay people, this and that, because, the array of gay comic book characters they've had over the years hasn't just proves that they hate gay people, even though they've had, I want to say darn near 100 different characters being gay at one time who are still gay or were just always gay in the series. Uh, they did at one point in the 80s have a really offensive gay character, but that even happened on Marvel's side, so I digress on that one. But so the internet went nuts over this. Now, here's the official reason. This is what Dan Didio, I don't know how to pronounce your name, Dan. The DC co-publisher at Baltimore Comic-Con. This is what he said. They put on a cape and cowl for a reason. They're committed to defending others at the sacrifice of their own personal instincts. That's something we reinforce. If you look at every one of the characters in the Bat family, their personal lives kind of suck. Tim Drake, Barbara Gordon, and Katie Kane. It's wonderful that they try to establish personal lives, but it's also just as important that they put it aside as they know what they are accomplishing as the hero takes precedence over everything else. This is our mandate, this is our etiquette, and that is our stand with our characters. Okay. So basically we're saying that DC cares more about them being heroes than their personal lives. So there's still a lot of controversy in that, and that's kind of a PR bullshit answer in all reality. So, as to step away from my fanboyism a bit, let's look at this from a logical point of view. Two female characters in a comic book getting married is no real big deal. It's honestly not. It shouldn't be. And married comic book characters have worked in the past, but let's look at it from this as a different point of view. We take away the fact that people immediately made this as an attack against gay people because everything's offensive now. You can't say something. Everything's got to be so politically correct. It's ridiculous. Let's look at it this way. Superman and Lois Lane have both been married for years, and it has worked out amazingly for them. Except in Injustice. But that was because of the Joker. But, you know, it's all kind of worked out amazingly. Well, here's the biggest difference. It's Superman. And there is no clear line between Clark Kent and Superman. What Clark Kent does and believes in is the same as what Superman does and believes in. So he's him constantly. He may do his voice and his speaking method a bit different, wear his hair a bit different, and take off some glasses and wear a big blue outfit. But for the most part, he is always him. Batman and the Bat family are very different in the fact that they live a double life. They live their lives on the outside. Let's use Batman as an example. We have Batman and Bruce Wayne. Now, in the mainstream comic series, Bruce Wayne does not exist. Bruce Wayne died in the alleyway with his parents. He became Batman that day. Bruce Wayne is always Batman. Always. It's Batman that puts on a Bruce Wayne suit every so often. Now, in Earth 2 comics, he is married to Catwoman. But that's because to do that, they had to completely create a whole nother Earth to get these two together to marry. And essentially, what they had to do was rewrite all of Bruce Wayne's character with after his parents died, he meets Clark Kent and they become close friends. And because of that relationship, he is able to rebuild himself and gradually move on. He still becomes Batman and still wants to help people, but instead of it being Batman with a Bruce Wayne suit, it's Bruce Wayne with a Batman suit. If that makes any sense at all. It makes sense in my head. But so it's really hard to marry comic book characters, and I think DC didn't mean any ill will with it. I think they fully went on with this because of multiple reasons, and here's the reasons why I think DC did it. Decided to forbode this. One, given the fact that it is one of the Bat family and they have the worst personal lives in the world, any one of them getting married is a huge leap and a huge chance. And I don't think DC wanted to take that chance with Batwoman, who is as kind of seeming as a border character, where her comic series is on the border there. It's not, if I remember correctly, it's not one of the more popular series. It sells enough to keep it around, but it doesn't sell like Batman or Batgirl, or Nightwing. It's not selling, as much as they do. It's on the border. It's like any moment it could sell just below enough just to get canceled, and it just meets what it has to. At least that's as I remember it. I could be wrong there. Sorry if the audio cut out. I had to go do something for a minute, so I'll edit it out. But I was on the whole thing with anyone in the Bat family getting married. It's a big risk, and I don't think DC was willing to take that. It's kind of that leap when you take any comic book character and marry them, and you change something so big in their story and their settings and their surroundings. It's a huge chance, and with Batwoman being one of those characters who is not as well known or as well liked as the other Bat family, it's really, really hard to justify taking that chance. I don't care if she was marrying a man or a woman or a transvestite. It's still the marriage part is the problem. Not because she's gay, but because she's a comic book character of the Bat family, and it's one of those big leaps to do. It's just kind of hard. It's taking a shot in the dark. Now the second reason, this is purely from not as a political point of view, or I think the fact that she's a lesbian and it would have been a gay marriage did have some factor on it. Not as anti-gay marriage or anti-gays, because all that fucking can of worms got opened up because of dicks on the internet who are too fucking small-minded to think about shit. I think it's because the fact that it is kind of the fact that not that they're anti-gay marriage, it's just doing something like that is also a gigantic risk, and it's also taking another shot in the dark because you never know how fans are going to react. And when a character comes out as gay, or they introduce a character who is gay, there's always this backlash about it. Look at Miles Morales. I mean, dear God, the backlash on that one was ridiculous. Yeah, I don't like Miles Morales as Spider-Man, but I just don't like the character in general. I mean, I guess after the 2 years skipped, he was a bit better, but when they first introduced him, I didn't like him very much. He wasn't that well written of a character. Now they've started to get a lot better, and he's starting to get better, but the Ultimate Universe is coming to an end anyway, so it doesn't really matter much. I don't know what they're going to do with Miles Morales, just send them into the fucking stratosphere somewhere. But it's one of those things where there's always a backlash. Now, I could personally care less. Now, if they made Superman gay, I'd fucking lose it, because then you're taking away Lois Lane, or Laura Lang, or what the fuck is up with Superman and L names? Or like in Earth 1, the hooker chick whose name I can't remember. It starts with an L. I know that for a fact. But you're taking away is something key part of Superman, that is the fact that you'd be taking away his main love interest that's been with him for years and years and years, and then you're breaking up this kind of weird relationship that him and Wonder Woman have, and there's just so much rooted in the character that just to take a character like Superman and just make him gay one day would just be ridiculously hard. I mean, you could feasibly do it, but what you'd have to do is you'd have to build it. It would take a long time, and you'd have to build it. You'd have to constantly build it. You'd have to go from scratch. You'd have to start from the very bottom of the barrel and move your way up. Just like if you made Batman gay, it would take time. You can make Wonder Woman a lesbian in a fucking instant for several reasons. One being she's an Amazoness, and yeah, motherfucker, she's an Amazoness. I mean, come on. Of course, she's bisexual. That's already been established. Power Girl is a psychotic lesbian. She's like, it varies, but she's everywhere when it comes to sexuality. Fuck, you can make Quicksilver gay in an instant. You can make Nightcrawler gay in an instant. Wolverine would be a bit harder. Hawkman, they've already done it twice. Warhawk, that's easy. The boy's 5 seconds from being gay anyway in the series, so let's just go the full Monty on that one. There's certain characters it works for, and there's certain characters that it doesn't work for. And Batwoman was always a lesbian, so it didn't really matter. I think it's just, you gotta look at it from the point of view of the company. There's a lot of risk involved in doing this. Do I think there was any hatred for gay people in this? No. Or homosexual people, no. I'm gonna stop using the term gay. That means happy. I don't even know why it's used as the word for that. Fucking queer would make more sense. But homosexuals, I don't think there was any hatred towards them. I don't think there was any malintent towards them. I think the reason they promoted it was purely business. It was a simple fact that there's too many shots in the dark here, that this change in this comic book series could save it and make them millions, or it could destroy the whole comic book. And with a comic book that they're seemingly doing okay with, that's making them money in a business that every left turn there's a canceled series because it's not making quota, it's foreseeable why they would want to skip that. Do I think they're going to come back to this? Definitely. This isn't going away anytime soon. Do I think the internet just needs to shut the fuck up and move on with their life? Yes, get the fuck over it. It's just a comic book. At the end of the day, it's not impeding anyone's rights. It's not impeding anything. It's just a comic book. Sorry about the audio again. I had to pause, answer the phone. But, so, it's stupid to argue about this when they're going to revisit this idea. It's coming back around. It's not going away anytime soon. The character's a lesbian. It's going to happen eventually, because every comic book character gets married at some point. I mean, goddamn, Spider-Man's been married to 20 different women. Which is odd, because, there's like 3 women in his life. Well, I guess 4 if you count the little midget girl from Superior Spider-Man that are constantly there, which would be Gwen Stacy, Mary Jane, Felicia Harding, and I guess the midget girl now. I guess she's a new player in this. I don't know how the Superior Spider-Man's playing out, but it's going to happen eventually. It's going to be to a woman. The character's already established as a hardcore lesbian. So there's no reason in arguing with this. Let DC make their business plans and do what they want with their series. if the writers want to step down and the artists want to quit and throw a fucking hissy fit over it, let them. If the internet wants to throw a hissy fit, let them. It's just a stupid thing to argue about because there's really no point in arguing. It's not hurting anyone. It's not impeding anyone. It's all a business move to not, lose money. And by the way, this is a fucking, as much as you think it's bad press, this is their wet dream for press. Because I guarantee you, most people weren't talking about Batwoman last week. Everyone's talking about Batwoman in the comic community now. And they're running off to buy the comic books and check it out. Or they're boycotting it, but the people who aren't boycotting it are reading the fuck out of Batwoman right now. I mean, damn. It just gets me sometimes how people react so violently and so furiously to shit like this when it's literally just the stupidest, most insignificant thing to react to. Are they literally, did DC come out and say, we hate faggots, so we're not gonna let these two gay characters get married in our comic books? No. All they said was, we made a business decision not to forebode the marriage right now, to move on from it, to not do it right now, because we feel that it's not right for the character at this point in time. So, just grow up a little bit, be a little bit more mature, and get a fucking sense of humor. I mean, come on, move on with your life. It's about as stupid as the Harley Quinn thing, where a semi-naked Harley Quinn commits suicide. Oh, good lord, you haven't seen that? We haven't seen two suicides in comic books. And it's Harley friggin' Quinn. The amount of times she breaks the fourth wall is ridiculous. She's not going to be completely naked either in the comic. That's another rant video, though. But still, it's just the reaction from it is ridiculous. People going nuts over something so insignificant. It's ridiculous because they never said, "Oh, we're never gonna let him get married." All they said was, "We're foreboding it right now." Basically meaning, if you don't know what the word forebode means, basically means we're not doing it right now. We may do it later, but not right now. Hell, give more character development. Screw it. I mean, at any point in time, we're talking about a character who's, at any point in time, the people there in a relationship will be killed, slaughtered. I mean, fuck. Kyle Ryan found his goddamn girlfriend in a refrigerator dead. Lois Lane, got flown into outer space by Superman because the Joker hypnotized him with scarecrow gas and kryptonite while she was pregnant. No one bitched about that or complained about that, but no, two lesbian chicks don't get married when they said they would. And the internet, they starts a fucking fire. They kill off Peter Parker and everyone bitches about it, and the most people bitching about it were people who didn't even bother to read the goddamn comic in the first place. It's just, it gets me that our community is so fucking stupid. I get mad at it because something like this should not be an issue or a discussion, or it's not the people who don't care about this and are just moving on with their lives are perfectly fine. It's the people who are bitching about it and complaining about this that are setting us back by 10 years. DC chose to be politically correct. Okay? They chose to make a business standpoint that would, save them the chances of losing a whole series in money. Because I think, the whole thing with it is Batwoman's building traction. And at this point in time, to do something like that could lose them the whole series. And, far be it from me, from a company where people go to work on a daily basis to make comic books, far be it from me to think that they would want to make money. that them making money is more important than the fans getting their lesbian wedding. It's like, oh, Marvel did it? Yeah, Marvel's done it hundreds of times. Who gives a shit? They've also lost whole series because of it. They've done marriages that have lost them series. They did the marriage and the series went downhill and just got canceled like 3 issues afterwards. It's happened before. Okay? And DC's known this. They took that huge step with Superman and Lois Lane. And you saw how many years it took for that to happen. And the only reason it happened was because there was a TV show at the time that was going to do it, and the comic series DC asked them to put it off so the comics could catch up to it. You know, it took a TV series for Lois Lane and Superman to finally get married. So, you're gonna bitch about this as if it's the end of the friggin' world? 'Cause it's not. Did DC enact a motion that's going to set up a law to ban gay marriage and, you know, oppress gay people? No. Did they oppress gay people? No. They just moved the wedding date. So yeah, get the fuck over it, Internet. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this has been Anime Freak ranting, especially at the end there. You know, it's just stupidity annoys me, and you have to understand my definition of stupidity. Ignorant is the lack thereof knowledge. It is the lack of knowledge, not knowing something. You can't help what you don't know. If you were never taught it, you just don't know it. If you were never taught to read, you can't read. If you never learned to read, you can't read. It doesn't make you stupid, that makes you ignorant. Stupid is having knowledge, but still doing it wrong. Just because you don't know something doesn't mean you're stupid. But when you do know something, when you do know the right way to act, the right way to do it, and still do the opposite, that makes you stupid. My friends, there are a lot of stupid people on the Internet. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, bye.